usual way, which still surprises too many people. I'm Joanna Obstoy, I'm a computer programmer. How many people, thanks, how many people are just like, is this for real? It's 50% of men, 50% of women roughly on this earth, but computers are not associated with women with the same percentage, right, as with men. And diversity, and this panel is really about this topic. I'm joined by the esteemed panel. I'll introduce it in a second, and we're going to be discussing this topic. Why is diversity important? Personal stories, and we have promised you to give you tangible advice that you can leave today and apply in your personal lives so that your careers will soar and you'll achieve more and you'll feel more confident. So I'm joined by Fiona Gallagher-Pyatt from Facebook. Welcome on stage. Katarzyna Majewska from City Handlowy. Piotr Mikłaszewicz from 3M. And Damian Mierny from TomTom. So to kick us off, I would like to ask the same question to all four of you. You're clearly a diversity champion. Share with us, why are you here? Why have you accepted this invitation? Why diversity matters to you personally? And you can take it, maybe Fiona, start because you're before this.
Hi everybody, my name is Fiona Gallagher-Pyatt. So I run Facebook's enterprise engineering teams and provide front-end user support to every single office outside the US. And I was the Women at Lead for Dublin for many years, and I'm currently the Pride at Executive Sponsor in Dublin. And the reason I'm here is that I really believe very strongly in the talent for the next generation, and I don't want to be the only woman in the room in every conference. So I'm thrilled to be here. The women I'm meeting are incredibly inspirational to me, and I'm very excited for the future.
Thank you. Katarzyna?
Hello everybody, my name is Kasia Majewska. I'm head of IMT in City Handlowy, and last 10 years nearly I spent by promoting women, and I also settled one of the biggest Polish women organization. And I think as a leader we have the responsibility to sponsor others, especially if I am a woman, to sponsor other women. And based on my experience, together with other leaders, we are trying to make the future better for you, trying to promote, to monitor, and also pointing the direction that can make your future better, both professionally and in your private life, just to make generally effectiveness of what you are delivering, but also how we are growing as a nation.
Hello, good morning. My name is Piotr Mikłaszewicz. I'm very happy to be here with you, but also I'm a bit stressed to have so many women in front of me, so I hope I will manage. So I'm working for 3M. I'm watching after safety and graphics business group in Poland and Ukraine region, but I'm also a diversity and inclusion champion for the region with a clear objective to promote D&I culture across the region. And regarding my experience, so I'm over 20 years in different business positions in 3 large corporations. The last 7 years I spent with 3M, where I manage a team of around 50 people with 6 direct reports, and 4 of them are female. So in my leadership team, I have more women than men, and they are actually sitting here. Hello. And I've been always working very closely with women, and over the last 20 years always trying to promote and expose women in my teams, and probably that's why I was nominated by our managing director to have this additional responsibility as a diversity and inclusion champion for the region. And in 3M, diversity and inclusion is a fundamental value, and we believe that we can be a better company only if we're more diverse and more inclusive. And today, over 50% of our 100 top leaders globally are diverse. And here in Poland, when we are talking about diversity, it's mainly about gender. We have more than 34% of leaders in the women, and we want to significantly grow it. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Danny Newman. I actually joined TomTom a little over a year ago, moving from the US to Poland, to our main location in Łódź. Joined TomTom as the manager of talent acquisition for Eastern Europe. Recently taken on a new role with TomTom as the manager of global sourcing. So completely in the talent space, really driving the direction in which and where we find talent. And I think one of the primary drivers for me joining the panel was really reflecting, and I think this is going to be a theme through a lot of my responses, and it's reflecting on the allies that I had when I was coming up in my career. So I started in higher education, transitioned to talent acquisition 5 years ago, and I've always had really strong female leaders that were champions of me progressing in my career. I think one of the most important themes there in my progression has been being an ally. So that's actually why I want to be here, to represent the male ally and maybe give advice on how to use male allies in the workforce. Yourself.
Thanks so much. We have a question on that later coming up, but I wanted to start with just career. There's a lot of years of experience sitting on this panel, and I just want to squeeze it all out from you. There's a lot of people here, I think, who sit here maybe in the beginning of their careers, middle, at some stage, and they just want to learn from you how to have the best career in technology as a woman. It's a men's world in technology, right? As the song says. How do you do it? And Katarzyna, I would like to start with you because you're on the board of Citi. What is the advice? How did you seek the right opportunities? How did you find yourself, reaching for the sky? What is the advice you want to give to everyone here?
It doesn't matter if it's technology or non-technology. It's very important to know where we are going and what our goal is. The global surveys proves that these people who know from the very early beginning what they want to achieve, they will do that. 3% of the population, of the global population, are used to write what they want to achieve it, and they even achieve it much quicker. So I'm one of the person who very early knew what actually I want to achieve, what is my goal and where I want to be. So finishing my study, I knew that I want to be a director. Doesn't it mean I not necessarily knew, but I wanted to be a director. So I received the title of the director within 3 years, which was relatively good time, and I was very proud of me. And then I learned what does it mean to take responsibility of other people, because this is generally about management. And having the title, I also was responsible for the many contract negotiations, mainly technology. And then I learned what is the technology work. Is it interesting for me or not? And generally, very early, I learned that technology manage work. If not as much as today, that time. However, technology strongly influenced that time, and even now stronger as we have the technology revolution now. I wanted to learn more, and I was dealing with men work, and it was also a very interesting and amazing time for me to learn how men were buying technology, understanding what is the best for them, not necessarily what is the best for the company sometimes, because they wanted to buy the latest technology, and we always wanted to find the balance between what is the newest versus what is the best. And that time I was always thinking, well, there will be a day when I will manage technology. I will manage all the men teams and I will show them the direction. So knowing that, I was looking for the opportunity how to grow, how to learn, how to also get knowledge, to be more experienced, and to be partner for my colleagues in terms of the technology, latest technology. Within my current responsibility, I have research and development team and also cybersecurity team. And I may say that it's amazing time now how the world is changing. It's absolutely amazing for me that I can learn, And even last month I had a meeting with all my middle management, and we've been discussing what a great opportunity we have to learn about blockchain, about artificial intelligence, about robotics. We are the people who actually can learn but can also implement. So, well, I had that opportunity, and if you're asking me how I achieved that, I wanted to achieve it. So, what I may advise is good to know what you want to achieve and just, fly as a butterfly without any borders, because everything is possible. Once you want to achieve it, you will do that.
Thanks so much. I do think that is really true. That if you don't think of yourself in a certain way, you'll never be on that path. So how many of you want to be a director? Great, excellent, amazing. Fiona, you're in technology. This question is the same area, but I wanted to ask a slightly nuanced question to you. How do you strike the balance of being staying technical versus the management? That typically happens to women. What's your advice there? How do you stay still?
The first thing I will say is, and the reason I'm going to say this is to show diversity is not just about men and women, it's also about diversity of thought. Because actually my career path would be the complete opposite. I still don't know what I want to be. So, but it's very important because it has to be authentic to you. So I think that's important. If for some people knowing that this is what I want to be is intimidating, because that's never how I operated even as a child. Whereas I'm incredibly interested in opportunity. I 100% agree with goal setting. Once you're in that opportunity, you need to set your goals and go after them. But for some people, it's more like the kind of transitional. My career is very transitional, and so it's funny how we all have different perspectives on it. So the difference between technology and other skill sets that you have to have. My career started actually with a degree in arts. I studied European studies, so politics and languages, and now I'm running IT. I manage a team of 105 people globally. So we run for I think 66 to 77 offices for Facebook. So actually how I ended up in technology is through a path from finance, where I started doing credit control. And again, the opportunities came up to get involved in systems implementations, and I found that fascinating. So all the advice I was given in school to be a teacher and that I was good at languages was rubbish. I'm actually really analytical and logical, and systems is where I found I was really fascinated and passionate. What I think is it's very good to understand what your core abilities are. I'm an excellent project manager, so I can organize anything. And based on that level of the framework, the security and knowing what you're very good at, you can start to explore areas of interest and realize, actually I can code. Actually it's not so complicated. You can try new things as long as you know, well, this is my core foundation. No matter what that is. For some people it might be finance. No matter what career, I'm sure everyone here would agree, no matter what level you get to as a manager, you need to understand finance. You have to be able to budget. You have to understand how to make a case for a new project. And so the core skills and people management are required no matter what type of career you end up in ultimately.
It's great. I know there are a few people here for sure that I know by name who have studied arts or humanities and are shifting to computer science. So think about yourself and think that you're going to run 100 people for Facebook at some point in IT. That's an amazing story. Piotr, I wanted to ask you that question as well. You said you have 4 women directs. How do you help women, or what do you see in these women? What have they done to reach management position, great careers? What is your advice as a man sitting and looking at it from your perspective?
Well, I think first women need to understand that the technology jobs, so-called STEAM jobs, are for them, are for women, because there are many stereotypes, many myths created by men that those jobs are not for women because they have less capabilities or they have less skills. This is not true. The jobs, the STEAM jobs are for women, but also they need to change their mindset, and they need to be more, let's say, self-confident with their career aspirations. And regarding the opportunities, so 3M is a typical technology company. So in our team, in our R&D team, 60% of the team is women, and they can work in some specialized roles to be a subject matter expert, or they can also lead a team and be a manager, leading a lab team or field application engineers. But working for a technology company doesn't always mean you need to work in R&D. You can always work in business. And the three ladies who are reporting to me, they are a great example of this, that you can be a successful sales and marketing manager and you don't have to work in R&D and technology jobs. So those jobs are open for everyone, and please, I would like to encourage all ladies to think about jobs in business, in sales. Today in Free Poland, only less than 30% of our sales team are women. And I think it's very exciting to sell, to offer, to promote our high-tech solutions to our customers.
Thanks, and thanks for saying and mentioning the myths. I think it's very true, and think about the myths you have in your heads and crack them down. Like, the jobs are for you, girls. Let's switch the topic. Building career is not a lonely thing. You do it with networks, friends and colleagues and mentors, etc. And I know, I've been hearing, that men are very good at building the networks. So Damian, I will turn to you. How do you build networks? Have they helped you in your career?
I'm trying to keep it to the 4 minutes because I'm particularly passionate about this subject. So I'll try to divide it in 2 minutes really from the way I learned about networking, or actually how I taught networking. So when I was still in the university system, working for the University of Hartford, I was also teaching undergrad courses in professional development and the power of networking. And the end result ended up being that 85% of those students that went through my courses ended up getting a job without actually ever applying for a job. So how do you do that? Very simple, right? So we all here have a resume. We all have LinkedIn, I'm assuming. And so it was actually quite simple, getting them to go on LinkedIn, network with their parents, their friends, and really show a level of intrigue within their own career by asking someone, can I spend some time with you because I want to learn more about what you do, and is it the right path for me? And then the strategy was simply to stay in touch with those people throughout their college career, and at the end, maybe every month send them nice emails and, hey, I read something on a topic related to your profession. What do you think about this? Here's my opinion. And if you do that continually, people start to remember who you are, and naturally they're willing to help. So these students were getting actually job offers because how impressed the people were who they were networking with, right? But it's about putting yourself in front of those people, right? So you have to take that risk, you have to take that step, ask for help. I don't know anyone in the world who, when you ask or tell them you're interested in what they do, that they'll say that they don't want to meet with you, right? I'd love to tell somebody about what I do every day. Why not? It feels good. So take advantage of that, right? And I think the other thing is, internally to your organization, I think a lot of people, I think it happens a lot to us too, right? We're focused on talent acquisition, so we stay within our talent acquisition organization, and we don't really step outside to understand what everyone else is doing. We understand the problems and we understand the business expectations, but we need to be networking within our own organizations to learn with those directors, right? What are they doing? What were their career paths? How did they get to where they are? So don't be afraid to step out of your org unit or product unit or business unit and explore your own organization's networks and allow people to be champions of you, right? And showing them that you're passionate about learning at a different level. So again, I can talk on and on this topic, but I think if I can get one more takeaway, I did a quick test before I came up here. I opened LinkedIn and I went to the People Finder and I tried to see who I can find, and no one has their Bluetooth turned on to let LinkedIn find the contacts for you. So I encourage you all, go on your phones, turn on your Bluetooth, put your LinkedIn contact finder on so we can just network for you.
I didn't know about this feature, so thanks. I'll turn it on later. Katarzyna, do you want to add something to that?
Actually, I would like to comment because there's one important thing that men use network differently than women. So men has better courage in terms of calling people they met and asking for the favor. Generally, women not necessarily are as so open as men are. So, as we learned recently, it's very important that if someone is asking, may I help you? That we have the answer, yes, you can help me in. Because generally, we don't have that answer. And the same, if we are sharing the concern we have, generally not necessarily somebody who is listening to us will follow the concern we have in terms of the advice, as long as we will not ask, well, perhaps you can help me because you do this or that, or you have such an experience that I can benefit from. So I would like to share with you is a kind of the openness, but also a courage to use the network, because as a woman, not necessarily we are doing the benefit of people we know in a way that men are doing. And what is also very important, that men actually, what I observe, are much quicker delivering help and advice versus women. So as women, we more hesitate in terms of asking, but also in terms of the giving the answer and help. So I think that as a younger generation that I am, I hope that you will build a great network and you will have such a benefits as men have at the moment, both having and giving.
We're doing very well in time, I just checked. So, Fiona or Piotr, do you want to add anything to that open question? Because I think we can explore it a little bit further.
Yeah, first I want to give a little example from this morning. So I used to be an independent contractor, I worked for myself, and that's actually how I joined Facebook. Another person I worked with asked me, was I interested in coming and doing a bit of work for Facebook? That was 5 years ago. So through my male network, which was predominantly all men in the Oracle kind of consultancy world, I was invited to join Facebook, which was a contract, and 2 months later I was offered a permanent role. This morning, one of the recruitment agencies who used to hire me as a contractor had this amazing role and asked me, was I interested in it? Now I'm no longer in that market. But I was able to recommend another lady who is currently on the job market, who I met at a women's networking event, who then sent me her CV and said, listen, I'm interested in getting into the contracting world. If anything interesting comes up, can you help me? So one thing we get confused about, we think that helping people is the way to have influence. Actually, asking someone for help is an incredibly powerful way to get influence. Think about when somebody asks you to help them. How do you feel? You feel valuable, you feel that you can have some power in helping somebody advance, you feel special because they're asking for your help, therefore you must be good at something, right? We all love to be asked to help, and you're actually increasing the power of your influence by asking for help, not just giving help. So really a very, very important message, be prepared to help people. Facebook is obviously a very social company, and we used to use the Facebook platform quite a lot for our work networks. We now have our own product called Workplace by Facebook, which is a company platform for internal community. And to your point, Daniel, very important to have your internal networks. On the leadership team, we have heads of each function, and we spend a lot of time cross-pollinating, talking about different issues. And when we're hiring, we ask each other do we have any network recommendations from people we meet in our travels. So talking, I love to talk, in case you haven't noticed, so it's a very Irish thing. Talking to people is hugely valuable. Don't be afraid to walk forward with your hand out and shake hands. Women are not good at shaking hands. So ladies, can I please ask you to do one thing? Can you develop your handshake? Please develop your handshake. It's about confidence. It doesn't have to break someone's hand, but a weak handshake in a man or a woman isn't a good thing. So practice your handshake. Practice in the mirror, saying hello, my name is, with your hand out. And I guarantee you, everyone will shake your hand back. So it is incredibly powerful. We're still humans, we're social animals. Yes, use technology, and here with Facebook, I'm going to push that. But ultimately, technology is only a tool. So use your personality, be open, it's one of our company values, be who you are, and start with a handshake. And that is the first step, and afterwards you start to build your network. It will feel like magic because people will want to come and speak to you and talk to you when you have an open outlook. So it's hard, I know, but practice it. Practice it, walk into the room, and you have lots of opportunities now to meet somebody new.
It's a very good point.
Okay, so if you have time, so just referring to your opportunities and based on my experience, I think you need to be ready to take a new challenge and take a new opportunity. So my advice is to not stay too long in the same position, in the same job. You should change it from time to time to leave your comfort zone, to try something new, to learn something new, to do something that you've never done. It's really paying off, and this is how we can develop those skills. And regarding the networking, I think now it's much easier than when I started 20 years ago. There was no internet. Now with social media, you can connect with your CEO or all the executives over the LinkedIn. Usually when you send them invite, they will accept it, and you can really share your stories or your best practice. You can post a link on YouTube or LinkedIn. So I really encourage all the ladies to take proactive actions and promote themselves however it is possible.
Yes, go for it. Dan said something.
Actually, I was thinking about Facebook. So when it comes to platforms like Facebook, there's really cool groups on there where you can find like-minded people, right? Similarly with LinkedIn. So don't use these platforms to see that +1, right, of your friends count increase or your network increase. Actually use it as a meaningful tool. Go on those Facebook groups and actually ask for their help. Provide people with where you want to go. Let them understand what your goals and ambitions are, and see how they can help you. Right? So don't be afraid to ask, and don't use it just as a tool to see that count of friends go up.
That's very true. I guess I'll add my story to this mix. So I work in Goldman Sachs. It's a company which is very focused on finding the right talent, diverse talent. And I was found in a networking event which I decided to go to. I actually declined the first invite and I went to the second, luckily for me, right? When we were young, and I remember myself in university, you're a little bit like fuzzy, like what are all those companies about, why they're inviting me to the events. But it's a very powerful way to actually get to know the companies, shop around a little bit, like do I like those people, do I like what they're saying, do I like what they're doing? And there's a lot of those events actually happening in Warsaw, even this event, right? It's been brought to you by the companies who are represented here and more, by women's networks actually in those companies, like in mine. A lot of people worked, extra hours to make it happen. So really, I think this is a very important topic here. Like, make sure you build your networks, make sure you take advantage of the networking opportunities that are set in front of you. Shake your hands. Ask for help, be helpful if you can to people you meet, and put the Bluetooth on your LinkedIn. This is, I think, all the kind of quick lessons that I've learned here. So let's move on to the topic you've touched on when you were introducing yourself, which is, we have 2 men, 2 women. How, in talking about diversity, we can't do it as women alone. So the real question here is, what is the role of men in this? How do you define it? Tell us, because you even introduced yourself with this, so I'll just give you the floor.
Yeah, so again, going back to this idea of male allies in the workforce, right? So really understanding who your champions are going to be, right? So at TomTom, I'm very happy that I can say I'm at a company where we're looking at this concept really from both bottom up and top down, right? So I know that, actually a shameless plug here for one of our co-founders, Corinne, who's going to be speaking later. I know that the entire executive board at TomTom is invested in the success of women in technology. And that trickles down to the VPs and the directors and so on. But on the ground floor, future of our company, right? So reinforcing from both areas that we need to champion diversity and be inclusive, and really just reinforcing that message every day, right? And I can see it permeating through our organization because it's not just something that okay, we're gonna create a special group of people. This is gonna be a special project for them, and they'll report on it, once a month and see how the progress is going. No, it's actually living it every day, coming into work and bringing the concept up, bringing the ideas up. And if somebody's not talking about it, bring it up yourself, right? It's our responsibility to create that inclusive workforce, specifically in areas like HR, talent, inclusion departments. So also for the women here is understanding where those champions are within the organization, right? I think that also goes back to a little bit of networking, right? Understand where your champions lie, how to align with them, really get on board with their message, and then make sure that they hear you, what's important to you. And don't let it be one of those, okay, we're gonna have a scrum meeting and we're gonna talk about diversity and inclusion, right? Actually keep the topic at the forefront. So I'm happy to go to work knowing that our organization is really committed to that, but also allows people like myself who are thankful for the opportunities that they've had through the powerful leaders or women leaders that I worked under. I can kind of bring that full circle.
Thanks. Fiona, I think you wanted to answer that question as well.
I've had some wonderful male allies in my life, and in fact, probably right now, the most important male allies I have are in my team. Because day in, day out, I'm working in areas where sometimes not only do I not have the answer to the question, I don't understand the question. Because there's, when you've got a broad technical scope, you can't be an expert in anything and everything. So I really lean on my team, and they support me, and they've supported my career in the last 18 months, which has been very important for me. At Facebook, we actually have a very active program in diversity and inclusion, as many companies, the successful companies now do. And one of the programs we run is a program called Be the Ally. So we actually run what we call ally circles. Now, being an ally is not just about being an ally for women. Certainly in Europe, we have, the gender diversity issue is probably our primary minority issue we're trying to face. But there's all sorts of minorities, LGBTQ, so apologize, I left that. And the Pride Act organizations, Black Act as well, and we're finding in EMEA where we're doing more, and the Muslim Act. There's many different communities of people who can find themselves in a minority. Okay, we don't have huge ethnicity diversity yet. We have lots more room to do. So being an ally, you can be a woman and be an ally to somebody you know is very shy. There's diversity in personalities. So I frequently will stop and ask someone who would like to share something. And so we run these programs training people in how to be an ally. Because actually, if you spend time talking to men, and you really, really should, by the way, they're very interesting, they'll tell you sometimes they don't know whether stopping a meeting to give a lady a chance to speak, is that going to somehow be condescending? Is that going to be patronizing? How do I, as a man, best support the women in my team? How do I, as a male manager, make sure I'm listening for the right opportunities to support my female executives or individuals in my team? So we run a program to try to train and help people understand what the opportunities look like to be an ally. So it might be in a recruiting panel. Are you asking the right questions about the candidates? Are you ensuring that you are calling out bias? But also in a meeting, if somebody gets interrupted in a meeting, that you stop the meeting and say, I think that person is trying to say something. So a very practical way to give men tools and women tools to be an ally to any minority that you might have in your team. And so far it's been very successful. People can then train to be an ally, like a learning circle, and run their own circles. So it's very, very easy to do. That, and we run our unconscious bias training as well. So again, like you said, Damien, it's not we've done this project and we're finished. It is very much an ongoing effort because we're hiring new people all the time as well. So you have to keep continuity of message around bias and around being an ally. And there's there's a couple of our male allies here from the Warsaw office who are at the Facebook stand, so some a data engineering team, and they're here to support the women from the Warsaw office at this event, and I'm very proud of them here.
Piotr, anything to add?
Well, I think you can't promote D&I culture without the men, yeah? And that's why this in 3M, all those D&I champion positions are filled with men. So I'm one of the examples, I'm looking after the region, but also our area D&I leader who is watching after EMEA, which is Africa, Middle East, Europe, he is also a man. And our CEO, who is also a man, he is also paying a lot of attention to D&I, promoting D&I. And just recently he formed a CEO Inclusion Council that is gathering all the top leaders across the company, all the diverse leaders, to promote more D&I activities and to make sure that all the leaders in the subsidiaries promote D&I, and it's really important for PM. And also I think, here locally in Poland we have 3M Women Leadership Forum, and one of the board members is a man, and he's also taking cooperative actions to support the forum. And also our operating committee meetings, our board meetings, we are discussing how to promote women leaders, but not also we need to be honest, we don't want to promote women because they are women, but we want to promote the women who have the capability, who have the skills, and who have the willingness to a step change in their career. Right? And also to our top talents, women who provide a mentoring program with Vital Voices, where the mentors are usually very experienced men.
Thanks a lot. I think that now we have time if you wanted to add anything to what is the role of men in driving this forward. Would you like to?
I think that we all know that the work is managed by men, but more and more women are in that work. And I'm very pleased that so many young women is here, and that you are studying on a technology universities. But what is very, very worrying that still a big population of women is inactive on the labor market. So these numbers even decreased last year. That's why the entire focus as an employer we have, how we might attract women to the labor market, how we might attract women from the technology and science world to the professional market and to the finance companies which I represent. And it's also very worrying that only half of the women population that finishing technology universities are actually staying with their profession. So I would like to ask you kindly, stay with the profession you are finishing, looking around and find the possibility to develop in the area you learn, because as it was said, opportunity is here, and because so many different professions will disappear because of the optimization, because of the robotics, because all of these latest technologies, I think more and more opportunity is within technology, and it's very important that women will be there, because women are changing the approach, women improving collaboration, and we are a very important part of this business. That's why all the programs that have been shared in terms of diversity and inclusion, global companies, but not only global, but also local companies implementing are for you to make environment more helpful for your growth. That's why I believe that the percentage of women within IT will increase, and the next 5 years will actually bring certain revolution for that.
Thanks, Christine.
I just want to say, I'm always really controversial, so I apologize in advance as well. Just a super point. Another way men can be great allies is, we talk a lot about exploring, promoting women in technology. We talk about women, absolutely we need more women on board, so I applaud you, and I'm definitely going to get there one day. Women directors. We don't talk enough about men in caring roles. So one wonderful way for men to be allies is to also explore which is appalling. I have never, in all of my career, heard any of my male colleagues asked if their wife, who may happen to be a stay-at-home parent, was a strong woman. So I think that we're doing all of these amazing things, and we should, I'm not saying we should stop, we absolutely want to keep pushing, but we also need to make it more acceptable and achievable for men to take more prominent roles in the home. And when you get to my age and you have children, you realise that it actually, you can have success in any way you form your family, by the way, number one, it's all achievable, you have to make choices. But the choices are limited for women because of the lack of care and the lack of choices for men. So feminism is actually incredibly powerful for the youth of the male youth. We're giving them more choices in their future careers as well, opening up doors. And so I would really like to hear that talked about a little bit more as well for young men, that hey, you could also be a primary carer, or you could be somebody, your wife has the primary career, primary earner. This is a problem because when it gets to government and when it gets to company policies, one of the most difficult things in my career is I did not get full paid maternity leave, and it was very difficult because I'm a main earner. So the financial pain and worry in my family for both of my pregnancies and my children were young was extreme, because companies assume or have assumed in the past that a woman has a man who's at home earning more than her. So hey, if you're not earning for 6 months, it's going to be okay. And it's just not. It's very difficult. And so women drop out of the workplace. And we lose these amazing, talented women in their 20s and 30s because they simply cannot afford to work. And our governing bodies are not catching up with Norway and Sweden, where the men can take the company or the government pay. So I love these discussions, and I'm going to ask the men here who are in senior positions. Facebook now gives parental leave to men. I know it's extremely expensive and challenging, but find small ways to support the men in being better parents and better spouses and partners, and I think that will be such an amazing thing for the next challenge we have for young women today.
So many rich content here from all of you. I think if I were to summarize what I just heard, pick the right company, which solves the problems maybe in the society, and a husband or wife. Pick the right partner, pick the right company, and I think you have good companies to choose from. And actually, one of the things I see is that women deselect themselves from the top companies because they're shy. They think, oh, this is too big a name for me. Let me try with this small shop down the road. It's a big mistake, especially in any type of career, but in the beginning and at any point. So reach for companies which really have it at the heart, which all of us have, which have programs supporting men and women, as we were just discussing, and which will never put you in a position where you will be deciding, do I leave my career or do I actually soar in my career, right? That's, I think, the summary here. So for the final, and I am conscious that we have promised something to the audience. There's been a lot of tips already, but we have promised to leave them with a personal advice that they can implement. Maybe in a form of a letter to your younger self or just pure advice. Let's take it. Who wants to go first? Fiona. You're smiling.
I have so many advice. Find me later. I can, later with a glass of wine, I can give you all the life secrets. But my advice would be, some jobs are very difficult, and don't leave too soon. Don't discount what you're learning. So even that experience of not getting maternity pay and going back to work when my children were only 4 months old, which is very young, it has made me a really good manager. Because I am learning from my difficult experiences. You take from every job you have, every difficult experience as well, you become a better manager. I'm very empathetic to people who have not only young families, men and women, but who also might have like a passion, a sporting passion or an artistic passion outside of work. So I understand how difficult it is to have a demanding career that you love, but also love something else. So learn from your own experiences and then try to be empathized with other people, and that will make you a better manager and ultimately will make you more successful in your work, I think.
During my studies, I had Russian language classes, and I remember our lecturer used to say that tomorrow will be the test, and she always used to say the night is long. So I agree what Fiona said, that there's a lot of difficult professions and some difficulties we may face. However, night is long, and remember about that. We can always learn, and this is a question, how many hours we need for that. During my entire life, it helped me that I was always counting, yes, I have one night, that means that I will manage to be prepared for tomorrow. And it was my, best advice for you. Don't be shy, you can always be prepared, because if you have one night, it's sometimes enough. And we don't have to think that certain positions or opportunities are not for us. They are for us. But my request to all the men is support women. Because women has lower self-assessment and requires certain support in terms of the taking positions or challenge. So still we need that support. However, as a woman, you are excellent. I am proud that I am a woman.
Yes, I also have a couple of advices for women. So first, don't believe in any stereotypes that you hear from men, from your mothers, fathers, that you can't work in technology. Truth. Keep also your female nature, so don't change it. So you don't need to be cold or ruthless to be effective. Be a female, be nice, be soft, be empathic. And challenge status quo. Please be confident in what you do. And if you are good, ask for a rise. I never heard a woman asking, coming to my office asking for rise, always men. I don't know why. Also, remember that now all companies need a kick-ass woman with passion in their eyes, the fire in their eyes, who are passionate about their targets and want to make things better. So this is your chance, and go for it. And also try to find a smart man, and it is possible. So try to find a smart man in your company or in your organization or around you who will support you in promoting D&I in your company.
So, my advice comes off of actually one of the projects that we're working on right now, and we call it Georgia's Wave, and so there's a lot of research out there in regards to how people view, read, and interpret job descriptions. And oftentimes women will exclude themselves from consideration and not even apply because the description looks restrictive. And so there's a lot of really cool tools out there right now that you can put your job descriptions into, and it'll tell you which areas you can improve or what language you can use to get more of a diverse and inclusive description to get a broader range of applicants. Do you guys know who doesn't care about that? Men. They just apply, right? They have the confidence.
There's one thing they know from the requirements, and they apply.
They apply.
If a woman doesn't know everything from the requirements, she won't apply.
Exactly. So my advice is just be unapologetically confident and fierce. That's it. So companies like ours are looking at these things, and we want to improve, and we're getting better every day. But that doesn't mean you should all wait for us to get better, right? Go out and apply for that job you think you only fit 50% for. Take the risk and just be unapologetic about it.
Thanks so much. To sum up, imagine a world where 50% of decisions are made by women and 50% by men. All the diversity strands are represented, the disabilities, LGBT, nationalities, etc. How better suited the world will be for all of us. And we need you to imagine that world and imagine your role in that world. You have to apply, you have to network, you have to believe in yourself, and reach for the stars. Thanks so much to all my panelists for giving personal stories and advice, and hopefully it will change the world for us. Thanks.